the platforms from deleting his post and called President Bola Ahmed Tinubu a criminal. Well, through his lawyer, Sowore argues that the case is fundamentally about the survival of free speech in Nigeria. The lawsuit directly counters the DSS's 5-count criminal charges, with Sowore's legal team citing Section 39 of the 1999 Constitution, which guarantees freedom of expression without interference. Sowore's legal team also warned that if state agencies can dictate to global platforms who may speak and what may be said, then no Nigerian is safe from having their voices silenced at the whim of those in power. I'll take some reactions. This is from John, who wrote on X. He wrote, "I don't believe you are interested in leading this country." Ayo, you're laughing. "Everything just seems like cruising for you. You can't be serious about real change and mobilizing people for 2027 election and have time for this with the federal government. No iota of wisdom, and everything is just aluta continua." Well, another ex-user wrote, "This is a significant move by Yele Sowore, with the case getting more serious than I had imagined. The court's ruling could set an important precedent for how platforms handle politically sensitive content." Dr. Abati, I mean, this is a new development. I mean, we took the story when it broke, and now the DSS has filed a lawsuit against Sowore and the social media platforms. Your thoughts?
Okay, there are two cases on the table. The DSS went to court to sue on 2 grounds. Charges count 2 and 3 of the charges accuse Sowore of defamation against the person of the President of the Federal Republic. Now, I found that a bit curious because defamation is personal. And the President of Nigeria can sue in his personal capacity that he has been defamed. The main issue here is that the DSS is saying he called the President a criminal. So the charge will be, he should come and prove it, that the President is a criminal. However, the DSS in the other charges is also saying, well, I haven't finished with that, defamation. Now, the interpretation will be that, Sowore, DSS acting on behalf of the President, is accusing him of sedition. Now, even in the UK, where sedition was in their laws, they revised it long ago and removed it because sedition, it simply means in the old jurisprudence that you cannot criticize the king or the queen, that the sovereign, is infallible. So, but we cannot have that kind of situation in Nigeria. So sedition is an obsolete kind of law. However, the DSS will seem to be standing on a stronger ground when they now quoted in another charge, Section 24 of the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2024 as amended, where they said that Sowore's insistence that the President of Nigeria is a criminal and that it was wrong to have said that there is no corruption, in terms of fuel subsidy in Nigeria, can lead to a breakdown of law and order. Now they can rely on that Cybercrime Act, Section 24 of it. I know it's controversial, but they will be on stronger ground there before the court. However, Sowore has now gone to the same court to say that the DSS, Meta, X, formerly known as Twitter, cannot delete his post that President Tinubu is whatever he calls him. I don't like to use that phrase, so that they don't say I repeated the phrase. No, it's not my opinion.
We're not going to Abuja.
I don't want to, because, if you repeat a defamatory statement, you can also be held liable. So,
except you're reporting.
Subsequent publishing, can be an offense. Okay. But, he is now saying that he has the right to express himself under Section 39 of the 1999 Constitution. The thing to say, the caveat to add, and his lawyers should know this, is that there are no absolute rights under Chapter 4 of the 1999 Constitution. You cannot say you want to express yourself and you injure the reputation of another person. Right. But we now have 2 matters before the Federal High Court. For the court, it's for the court to determine. A date has not been fixed yet in both cases for hearing, but I think that, look, this right to free speech, it also has its limits.
It does.
And the use of social media also has its limits. But Sowore, who is a legendary activist, is insisting that the struggle continues. And that whether he's taken to prison or any attempt is made to censor him, he will continue to fight. So here, you have a delicate situation. But it will be interesting to see what the courts decide. Because here, the important thing is to always test the law.
Yes, this is it. This is the main point. At the end of the day, let us test the law. Let's now highlight the ongoing debate surrounding Aliko Dangote's business empire as Africa's richest man responds to criticism from the Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers regarding alleged job displacement. Dangote on Tuesday strongly defended his operation, stating that his drivers earn triple the minimum wage and that his companies have not displaced any jobs. The billionaire industrialist also made revealing comments about the challenges wealthy Nigerians face, noting that while others with liquid cash choose to relocate abroad to avoid difficulties, he remains committed to operating in Nigeria despite the hell he endures. Let's take a look.
What I keep saying, there are more people who have more liquid cash than me, for example, in Nigeria. Maybe 1 or 2 or 3 without mentioning names. But then now, when they see us going through this wahala, they run to Monaco and just stay. They don't want to go through this hell. But me, I've already developed too much gray hair and I'm ready to just carry on. So that is the issue. So we have to be very careful because you are scaring people who are supposed to. And as you are scaring them, then you are actually creating us to now become bigger and bigger and bigger alone. And you alone, you can't score football alone now. You need a team. So the only team is for everybody. We can't be now. We as Nigerians, we have a problem. We don't have steel. We don't have enough, power. We don't have. It's not done now. It's not everything that government will do.
I think Aliko Dangote here makes a lot of points. Dangote's decision to stay and invest locally, despite these challenges, raises important questions about the business climate and what it takes to maintain industrial operations in Nigeria. The wage claims, if verified, could set new standards for the industry. I'd like to also play this video where Dangote presented a comprehensive defense of his operations against claims of job displacement and anti-union practices, revealing that the company's 4,000 compressed natural gas trucks are set to create 24,000 jobs nationwide rather than eliminate existing positions.
You are saying that there will be lots of jobs. Our own tank is going to be driven by robots. There are no robotic trucks now. There are trucks that, yes. So these 4,000 trucks they are fighting over, it will create 24,000 jobs. And let me give you also another good news. What you are saying is that our salary is almost 3 times or 4 times their own. Our own, after 5 years, free accident, nothing, a driver can apply and get a house loan. Our drivers earn more than graduates. If you look at what they earn in a month, it's almost 4 times minimum wage. And please go and ask anybody. I don't want to tell you, but go and ask everybody. It's not every truck that you can load here.
All right, let me take a reaction to this before I come to you. This person on X wrote, the downstream and midstream sector of Nigerian oil and gas industry had been one pseudo business men and politicians have been using to get money without enterprise. Dangote has changed the game now. Depot owners who only use their storage as decoy to collect subsidy should brace up for real business and not this fighting of Dangote. No more free money in the mid and downstream. The rhythm has changed and the dance step has to change too. Game changer. Dangote is. Go ahead.
Well, correct. Since this Nupeng versus Dangote refinery issue started, I think early last week, there have been statements released, counter statements released, and I'm glad that the man himself has come out to debunk some of the allegations that have been made. One of which, and which the union had said, was that we were going on strike because Dangote refinery did not pay its workers well. Mm-hmm. And that, in fact, one of the reasons why it was important for them to join the union was that the treatment, their welfare of workers was questionable. Now, they've come out to say, and no one has come to debunk who's working at Dangote refinery, that not only do they pay one of the best salaries in the industry, 4 times, what is obtainable, they also have welfare packages for their staff members, which is welcome, a welcome development in the area of HMO, in the area of insurance, also access to housing loans if you are accident-free for 5 years. That's an incentive not only to the drivers, but a relief for the Nigerian people that they are taking it seriously, the safety of not just their drivers, but people on the street. So what he has said is absolutely spot on. Only a few days ago, Dangote Refinery celebrated 1 year coming on stream. And I don't think that we have seen Alhaji Aliko Dangote as often as we've seen him since the Dangote Refinery started, just to show how much obstacles and fights he's had to take on personally, whether it be with the regulators, now with Nupeng, with Dapman, a few people. He even said at some point, very famously, that the cabal in the oil industry is like the drug cabal that we see internationally, but against all odds. And isn't this a story of many business owners in Nigeria, people who have chosen to invest millions of dollars here in their home country and hoping to put Nigeria on the continent as one of those countries that would do not need to import fuel and PMS import refined crude. This is what this man wants to do, and yet has been met with many obstacles. I believe that we deserve a book, maybe after a few years of running this business, to see just how difficult it is to run a business in Nigeria, and despite it all, facing it, going heads on, and ensuring that he's trying to do the right thing by his people.
Yes.
I'm glad he came out to debunk that news story.
Yes.
And I almost want to pick up an application form, for Dangote. How much are they paying these days? So we
want
can
to
know.
be a driver?
No, not
Which
driver.
one?
No,
What's
a great place to
Joe,
work.
okay,
and I researched them online.
Did you hear what he said? How much they earn?
It's 4 times.
Yes,
Industry
4 times.
payments.
Okay,
Yes,
very good. Just
Chairman,
for everybody
take
to know.
note. But I think one last thing, Glassdoor, which is an independent site that anonymously, current or previous workers